Set for game one of this series with the Giants. San Francisco comes to town in a dogfight in that wild card race. The Colorado Rockies lead right now by 1 game over Bruce Bochy's San Francisco Giants. It has been quite a surprise team this year. The Giants already surpassing their win total from a year ago. They do it with pitching and defense, but mostly pitching. Offensively, they've had their struggles this season, but they've got Pablo Sandoval back in the lineup. They have Benji Molina back in there as well. Here's Bochy's starting lineup today. It's brought to you by Subway. Eugenio Velez leads off. Edgar Renteria batting in the 2-hole with Sandoval hitting third. Benji Molina, Juan Uribe, Nate Shearholtz in the middle of the order with Aaron Rowan, Travis Ishikawa, and Barry Zito rounding it out.
And let's check out the Piggly Wiggly scatter report on Jeff Suppan tonight. Good rebound after not having a win under his belt since June 12. Good outing against the Pirates. 6 innings, 1 run in picking up a win. Very important for location. He had good location his last time out, on the corners and down in the strike zone. And beware of Benji Molina. He's done pretty well against Suppan in his career. 8 for 23, including a home run.
Defensively for the Brewers, it's Ryan Braun, Mike Cameron, and Jason Bourgeois in the outfield. Casey McGee, Alcides Escobar, Felipe Lopez, and Prince Fielder around the horn. And the battery tonight, the veterans Jason Kendall and Jeff Suppan. Eugenio Velez leads off. And Suppan deals him a strike to get it started. Velez homered on the very first pitch he saw last night from Pedro Martinez. But that was the only offense the Giants would be able to muster up. They lost 2-1 yesterday. As Velez sends one to Braun, and it's out number 1 quickly here for Suppan.
And numbers for Jeff Suppan: 5.2 the earned run average for him. No complete games in 23 starts. Got to limit the walks. Since returning from the disabled list, he's walked 8 batters while he's striking out only 2.
Suppan coming off a win against the Pirates right here at Miller Park. 6 innings and only 1 earned run allowed and 94 pitches total. And that win for Suppan, the first since June 12th when he beat the White Sox. So pretty good time between victories for Suppan. Nearly 2 months. Edgar Renteria, another former Cardinal. Just like Jeff Suppan, Renteria brought over to play shortstop this year for the Giants. There's Mike DeMuro. Interesting mask he wears. Home plate umpire calling balls and strikes. The crew chief tonight is Dale Scott, and he's at first base. Two balls and a strike on Edgar Renteria. Right off the end of the bat, and an easy play for Suppan. 2 up and 2 men down. And here comes Pablo Sandoval. Sandoval in his first full season in the big leagues. You see where he ranks, a .329 batting average, just second only to Hanley Ramirez. He slugs it well, has 21 home runs, which is significant when you consider he plays half of his games in San Francisco, a notorious pitcher's ballpark. And he is a free swinger at the plate.
Yeah, you don't even have to throw this guy strikes for him to hurt you. Even a couple of those pitches that you just saw weren't even strikes. Down around his ankles. He can go down and get them, both right-handed and left-handed.
Sandoval has only walked 37 times this year, playing just about every day for the Giants. Had too many at-bats last year to give him rookie status this year, or else he would be the runaway rookie of the year in the National League. But Sandoval was promoted last year as a 21-year-old. Played in 41 games and had 145 at-bats.
They're trying to establish inside on Sandoval. And Jeff Suppan missing on a couple of pitches, trying to catch the inside corner. Not much offense for the San Francisco Giants, particularly lately. They've been winning because of their pitching. Tremendous pitching. They don't need many runs to win.
Well, Sandoval draws a rare walk. Hard to swing the bat while jumping out of the way. And the Giants have a base runner in the first.
Now, certainly a guy that you can't allow to beat you. If you're in a position, no matter where you are in the ball game, to pitch around him, why not do it? This guy is red hot. Swings at everything. Tough to pitch around him, so you got to make sure you miss by plenty.
Well, here's Benji Molina, just coming back from an injury, a strained right quadricep muscle that knocked him out for 8 consecutive games. Molina started last night, back in there tonight. 16 homers, 67 driven in, and he is their big power bat. He's another guy that isn't afraid to swing the bat and go out of the strike zone to do it.
He likes to attack early. You got to be careful. And Suppan doing just that. Back-to-back series with a Molina behind home plate. Both of them having pretty good offensive seasons.
Benji's younger brother Yadier Molina, the all-star and gold glove catcher in the National League. And McGee makes it easy. So Suppan a good start, a scoreless first, and we head to the Brewer first against Barry Zito. Still filing in on a beautiful Friday night for baseball here in Milwaukee. The roof is open, the panels are open, and Ken Maka hoping his ball club can put together back-to-back wins as they continue to pursue 500. The Brewers are 3 under to start the day. Maka's lineup brought to you by Subway with Felipe Lopez, Jason Bourgeois, and Ryan Braun at the top. Prince Fielder, Casey McGee, and Mike Cameron in the middle of Maka's order. And a bottom third of Jason Kendall, Alcides Escobar, and Jeff Suppan.
Now the Piggly Wiggly scouting report on the big tall left-hander Barry Zito. Been very good since the All-Star break. 4-2, a 192 earned run average. He's really been throwing much better after his April and May of last year. He's got a good cutter, a tremendous overhand curveball, and really hasn't had a whole lot of runs to work with. Giants have only scored 6 runs for him in his last 4 starts.
That's the fewest runs per game does Barry Zito. 9 times Zito has pitched. The Giants have been shut out on the other side, so his numbers don't quite tell the whole story, at least his win-loss numbers. He's 9-11 to start the day as he faces Felipe Lopez to start it. Lopez a .309 batting average with 8 home runs and 46 driven in. And Lopez shoots one down the right field line. Shearholt's able to cut it off, and that's going to hold Lopez to a single. Let's give you the rest of that Giants defense. It's Eugenio Velez in left. Rowan is in center with Shearholt's in right. The infield, Sandoval, Renteria, Uribe, and Ishikawa. And the catcher is Benji Molina. 22-year-old Pablo Sandoval. And an outstanding hitter. He's not a bad defender either. He and Alcides Escobar know each other very well. Both 22-year-old Venezuelans. They grew up together and are good buddies. And now both in the big leagues together. Here's Jason Bourgeois getting another start here tonight with Ryan Braun on deck. Trying to set the table for the big sluggers, Braun and Fielder. Bourgeois is making his 5th start in right field for Milwaukee. He's appeared in just 7 games. This will be his 8th game to play in.
Yeah, hasn't played in a while, and that's unfair to throw that pitch. Guy's been on the bench for a while.
Bourgeois did not get an appearance in St. Louis on that 3-game road trip, that brief road trip. Catalanado starting a couple of games in right field for the Brewers.
Had a good series at the plate.
Little bouncer over to Uribe, and he's able to get the out at second base. 4-6 on the putout. Bourgeois, a speedster at first for Ryan Braun.
It's been a good year for Barry Zito. 125 strikeouts and a little over 162 innings. Not a big strikeout guy. Used to be, but that big overhand curveball, he can spin that up for a strike early in the count. And that's a tough thing to do, as much of a break that he has on it.
Now, Braun certainly excited to see a left-handed pitcher on the mound tonight. He continues to destroy left-handed pitching throughout his career, and especially this season.
Yeah, only David Wright with a better batting average against lefties. Braun hitting at a .410 clip.
Bourgeois takes off, and he'll steal the base easily. Jason Bourgeois running right away and able to pick up the bag. That's his first stolen base of the season.
Well, going on the first move once in a while, if you don't have much on a move. Zito with that big high leg kick. Bourgeois takes off right away, and I think even a perfect throw wouldn't have gotten him.
First career stolen base for Jason Bourgeois. And a season of career firsts. He hit his first career home run here at Miller Park on the last homestand. Now he's in scoring position for Braun. Ryan had a good cut, fouls it away. Braun comes in batting .311, 28 home runs this year. That is good enough for 9th in the National League, and his 95 RBIs, 4th best. So Braun inside the top 10 in all 3 major categories offensively. His batting average is 8th best in the National League to start the day. Got 3 of the top 10 hitters in the league in this series, with Pablo Sandoval, Ryan Braun, and Felipe Lopez.
Well, and the Brewers are going to have to take advantage of opportunities in this series, just like this one. A man at second with 1 out. A very good pitching staff, particularly a good starting rotation. You don't expect a whole lot of opportunities. At least that's the way the season's gone so far. So you get opportunities to score, you better cash in.
Talking to Ken Maka about some of the differences in Barry Zito, and he and Dale Swaim have come to the conclusion that, first of all, he has more life on his fastball. He's throwing harder.
Finish on it.
And he is pitching inside effectively, and those two go hand in hand, don't they?
With the cutter. Yeah, you got a good cutter in on right-handed batters. There it is.
Braun sends one deep to left, and that one is hooking foul and out of play.
They tried to backdoor that cutter that time. Did you see it? Tried to catch the outside corner, left it down the middle of the plate. And Ryan hit it hard, but couldn't keep it fair.
Now, Braun is the first player in Brewers franchise history to hit at least 20 homers in each of his first 3 major league seasons. He needs 1 more home run for that magic number 100. And a breaking ball miss. Braun draws the walk, and the Brewers in business here in the first. 2 on with 1 out for Prince Fielder. Fielder is sitting on 120 runs batted in, just 6 shy of tying Cecil Cooper, and a franchise record. 29 games remaining. Yesterday, Fielder had an RBI. He was 1 for 4 at the plate. Drove in his 120th run in the 6th inning yesterday on a ground out. Runners go. The throw to second base, and both are in there. Braun steals it. Molina thought he had a better shot at Braun at second. I think both had great jumps, and it was a no-brainer they were going to make it.
Well, taking the opportunities to run on Barry Zito with that big high leg kick. Catcher is always going to, or at least a lot. If a runner at second gets a good jump, better shot at the trail runner, because he has to wait to see if the guy in front of him takes off. Sometimes doesn't get as good a jump and ends up getting him. But both of them credited with stolen bases.
And the third stolen base of the inning. And now we'll see how Zito deals with Fielder. Prince chases one out of the strike zone. And it's 2-1.
Yeah, the last fastball at 89 miles an hour. Last year when we saw Zito, his fastball barely got to 85 miles an hour. So he's finishing better. He's got a little bit more life on all of his pitches. Sharper breaking pitches and much better velocity.
Fielder fouls one off. Count evens at 2-2. Now, don't tell the Giants the Brewers aren't a running team. Remember opening day, 4 stolen bases in that game, and already 3 here in the first inning. Brewers don't run much, but Bourgeois has picked up 2 in this inning, and Braun with his 13th of the season. A little bouncer. This will get a run in. Renteria in time to get Fielder, and Prince now just 5 RBIs shy of Cecil Cooper's franchise record. The Brewers are on the board 1-0 here in the first inning.
And a good job of protecting the plate by the big man, not trying to hit the ball to the ballpark, realizing with the infield back, all he had to do is put it in play. A slider, able to get enough of it to drive Bourgeois in from third base. An RBI for Prince, and they do indeed take advantage of an early opportunity.
Bourgeois doing it with his legs. Brewers playing a little small ball here to get it started, and a 1-0 lead for Mike Cameron. Excuse me, Casey McGee. Casey's been red hot. 10 runs batted in his last 4 games. McGee had 9 runs batted in that 3-game series in St. Louis. He's got his parents here this weekend from Santa Cruz. First trip for his parents. And there's little Mac. Been a big star in Milwaukee this year. And McGee sends one deep to left, but like Braun, hooks over it. A red hot bat for Casey McGee, our Taco Bell, who's hot as a matter of fact. 500 batting average during the last 4. He's hit 3 home runs in his last 4 games, and the 10 runs batted in.
And doing a nice job protecting Prince in that lineup. And more willing to pitch to Prince with a red hot Casey McGee behind him in the batting order.
Casey McGee starts the day among National League rookies, 2nd in batting average, 3rd in home runs, 2nd in RBIs. .299 hitter with 13 home runs and 49 driven in.
And not bad numbers for Casey McGee with 264 at bats. Good production.
Spent the first 6 weeks on the bench, occasional pinch hit opportunities. But once he started to play regularly, McGee showed he could be an everyday player in the major leagues. And Dale Swaim, I remember Dale Swaim telling us in spring training, if Casey McGee got 600 at bats, he's got a chance to hit 25 home runs, which was a bold statement from the Brewers hitting coach.
And he's right on.
Well, might have even sold him short. 600 at bats, he might hit 30 home runs.
That's right.
Especially in this ballpark. Full count, 2 outs. Braun at second. The Brewers have a run in on a Fielder RBI groundout and 3 stolen bases in the inning. Braun takes off. McGee pulls one foul.
Zito, first inning, is leaving the cutter over the heart of the plate, and that curveball's been up in his zone as well. With 2 strikes, he's pretty good at keeping that curveball down around the dirt, but hasn't been able to do that in the first.
Keep an eye on Braun, see if he runs again. Stays put, and McGee sends that one deep to left field, and that one hooks foul. Boy, 2 long fly balls from McGee. 2 narrow misses and a home run.
Looked like they were both sliders, both of the pitches that Casey hooked foul. Deep enough for the home run, but not able to stay back long enough. You see that ball coming down and in, left it up in the zone and got too much of the plate.
Walked him. Good at bat by Casey McGee. Boy, that's something else. So Casey draws the walk. 2 on now. 2 walks given up by Zito. And here comes Mike Cameron.
Bruce Bochy not used to seeing a struggling starter out on the mound. Of course, he's only given up 1 run. But throwing a lot of pitches. 26 already for Zito.
Zito to face Mike Cameron with 2 outs. Braun and McGee on the bases. 1-0 Milwaukee, and looking for more in this first inning. Miller Park was the site of one of Zito's worst starts 2 years ago, back in the 07 season. 4 runs in the first inning against the Brewers. That included a grand slam home run by Bill Hall. With 4 innings and 6 runs that day. There's a good fastball in the inside corner. 0-2. Brewers facing back-to-back Cy Young Award winners in consecutive games. Cameron sends that one down the line. Braun will round third and score easily. McGee now in a rundown between third and second, and Sandoval will run him down for the out. Base running mistake, but the Brewers add another one, and it's 2-0. 2-0. The Brewers are on top. A 2-run first inning. RBIs from Fielder and Mike Cameron. So a good start tonight. Suppan a scoreless first. He walked Sandoval on 4 straight pitches, but managed to get out of the inning. 16 home games remain. Brewers will welcome in the Cardinals next. It's a 3-game series with the Giants, and then St. Louis will be here on Monday. 2 more homestands and 2 more road trips until the end of the regular season.
And a lot of playoff contending teams coming into Miller Park, and the Brewers going to some playoff atmosphere stadiums on the road. It's going to be exciting.
While the Brewers are on the outside looking in at the postseason, 8.5 back in the wild card race to start the day with just 29 games remaining. They can certainly have a major impact on who does go to the postseason. Not only do the Brewers have the Giants, they also play the Colorado Rockies, the top 2 teams in the wild card race to start the day. Uribe out to Escobar. And 1 gone. Another ground out for Suppan. 3 of his 4 outs have been on the ground.
Visit the official online shop of the Brewers at brewers.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic team gear, including official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and much more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the brewers.com shop.
Ken Maka and Willie Randolph talking it out, manager and bench coach. Nate Shearholtz, the batter for the Giants. Shearholtz has hurt the Brewers badly this year. That's why he's in the lineup. 8 hits, 19 at bats. He's batting .421 against the Crew this season. Shearholtz gets the start in right field tonight.
And it puts Randy Wynn on the bench. Not something you see every day, but the numbers against the Brewers. Got to get Shearholtz in the lineup. Full moon today or tomorrow, I think. Which is it?
You're the moon guy.
I think it's tomorrow.
Shearholtz draws the walk. So Suppan is walked 2. And he'll face Aaron Rowan with a man on and 1 away. Rowan comes in with 13 home runs, 54 driven in. He homered against the Brewers earlier this year. He had a big series back in April, first series of the year for Milwaukee. But he signed a big contract, and a multi-year contract, a 5-year deal worth around $60 million. I don't think the Giants expected him to be hitting at the bottom of their order.
Right. And the last time the Giants were here, he was leading off. They were trying to move him around to see if he was going to get some better pitches, but that worked for a while, but not very long. He's back down in the order, hitting 7th tonight.
Now Rowan had a big year in his only All-Star year in '07 with the Phillies. He was a Gold Glover that year as well, and posted a 27 home run season with 89 driven in for Philadelphia, and then went to San Francisco, signed a big contract between the '07 and '08 season. He's already matched his homer total from a year ago with 13.
Well, ballpark has a lot to do with those numbers. I mean, the numbers for the starting rotation, the pitching staff in general, if you look at them, you know, most of them, you know, teams in the top 10 have pretty good pitchers ballparks, particularly San Francisco. That's a tough ballpark for a right-handed power hitter.
And Rowan has one of the most unusual setups at the plate. Seems like an uncomfortable and awkward setup. I mean, when you watch him prepare for a pitch as a pitcher, you feel like, you know, if I stand here long enough, he's got to give.
Yeah, he's going to stiffen up. I mean, he arches his back. I mean, exaggerates the straight up stance. It's not really a straight back as he stands there. It's actually the reverse C to start out. It's very uncomfortable.
Lays off, shows a good eye, and the count to 3-2.
Well, whatever works for you, right? Whatever gets you to a point where you're going to get the barrel of the bat to the baseball. Everybody starts a little bit differently, but good hitters always end up right before they swing in the same spot. Aaron Rowan will start that way, but as Suppan delivers the baseball, he gets into more of a conventional stance.
Was that little lean back right before the pitch. And Rowan is drilled. Leans right into one that time, and the Giants have a couple of men on base.
Yeah, he's right on top of the plate. That elbow's hanging over the inside corner. Watch the way he sneaks in there. His first move is to dive toward home plate, and it gets him on the elbow.
Rowan's been hit 12 times this year. He's among National League leaders in that category. He is now tied for third in the league in hit by pitches. Jason Kendall is second, by the way.
Yeah, both guys dive. They dive to the outside corner, and both of them standing right on top of the plate. So you're going to get hit by pitches from time to time when you do that.
Now 2 on with 1 out for the Giants first baseman Travis Ishikawa. And Suppan fighting his command here in the second inning.
He's really trying to establish inside both the lefties and righties, and having a tough time doing it.
Ishikawa's hit 9 home runs this year. Interestingly enough, 7 of those home runs have come in San Francisco. You'd think most sluggers would have better numbers on the road offensively, but not the case with Travis Ishikawa. Only 2 road home runs this year.
And a .340 batting average at home. That's unusual, but you know, left-handers have a little bit easier time hitting balls out in San Francisco. Not as deep.
The 1-2 pitch almost hit another one. 2-2.
Yeah, Soup trying to keep these Giants off the outside corner. First move toward the plate, trying to cover outside, and Suppan straightening them up. In theory, that's pretty good, but you don't want to be hitting too many batters. That's a lot of base runners. He's walked 2 and hit 1 already.
The Chris Bosio effect.
A firm believer in pitching inside. The poster child for pitching inside, Chris Bosio. He likes to call it, get the feet moving.
Rock the boat a little bit.
Yeah. Keep them honest.
Ishikawa, the opening day starter at first base for the Giants this year. His first opening day roster. Suppan burns the inside corner for strike 3. A well-placed fastball from Jeff Suppan, and he picks up his first strikeout.
Little backdoor fastball, started off the inside corner, a little late movement. Catches the edge. Good pitch by Soup. Well, you haven't seen Suppan pitch this much inside early in the game all year. You'll like it because most hitters are going to be looking on the outer half against Soup. That's normally what he does.
Barry Zito, the Giants pitcher at the plate, has 6 hits this year. He's a 133 hitter to start the day. Well, for a guy like Suppan, who doesn't have the big fastball, you plant that seed of doubt that you'll pitch inside. It opens up everything else in your repertoire.
And we'll see what he does second time through. Maybe go back outside again. One thing you like from Suppan so far, he's trying to establish inside, but if he's missing in off the plate, not missing out over the plate to allow the Giants to hit a home run.
2-0 Brewers. They scored 2 in the first. RBIs from Fielder and Cameron. And Suppan has the pitcher up with 2 men on base. Zito unable to turn on the fastball. Matter of fact, you got to be heads up above the dugouts with the left-handed pitcher up there.
Young man was. He got it.
That away. See what Soup has in mind for him. The 1-2. And he goes. Zito strikes out. Suppan picks up back-to-back punch-outs with 2 men on base.
Brewers have a new player at their disposal this evening. Corey Patterson was brought back from Nashville tonight. He traded places with Corey Hart, who went to Nashville to finish a rehab assignment, to begin a rehab assignment. It's interesting that this transaction took place today because the Brewers got Corey Patterson when he was released by Nashville at the end of July. They signed him on the exact day that Corey Hart had his emergency appendectomy in California. So it's interesting that the synergy there. Corey Patterson told us before the game that he's not worried about auditioning for his next job. He just wants to help the Brewers and play hard when he gets a chance.
And Ken Maka is saying earlier today that Patterson's earned the right to be here. He went down to AAA. He played well and has a big league track record, so he's going to get a chance here in the big leagues for the final month of the season. Good for him.
And Maka has said he's going to play him. He's going to give him some starts, see what he can do. Former Cub, former Oriole. Got some power. He's really got a lot of power. That's right. Got a lot of power. And the one knock on Corey Patterson in his major league career, just wasn't able to get on base enough. He got good speed, good power, hitting home runs. Just wasn't able to get on base enough. Good outfielder too.
So while Corey Hart begins a rehab assignment in New Orleans tonight for the Nashville Sounds, Corey Patterson joins the big league club. They're going to ease Corey Hart into the mix down in AAA. He's probably going to get a couple of at-bats tonight, maybe 4 or 5 innings. And then he'll try to play an entire game tomorrow or the next day. And then Hart expected back with the ball club Monday or Tuesday.
And Nashville in a pennant race.
With 4 games remaining in the regular season in AAA, Nashville just a half game back of Memphis for a postseason berth. Jason Kendall draws the walk. Brewers have a leadoff base runner, the 3rd walk given up by Barry Zito. Corey Patterson's numbers down in Nashville: 331 hitter, 5 home runs. One of those was an extra inning game winner against Memphis just the other day. 22 runs batted in. And as you can see, always a threat to run. Been up and down for parts of 10 seasons in the major leagues. Here's the young Escobar. Escobar living out the dream of every young Venezuelan, playing shortstop in the major leagues, making Pablo Sandoval jealous. Sandoval wanted to be a shortstop so bad that he taught himself how to throw right-handed. He's completely ambidextrous. But he wanted to be like Vizquel. He was a left-handed thrower. He says, well, I can't be like Omar Vizquel if I throw left-handed.
He's not built like Omar Vizquel, that's for sure.
That came later.
Yeah. He's certainly more suited physically for a third baseman.
There's some talk. The Giants made a trade for Freddie Sanchez, who was down in AAA on a rehab assignment for San Francisco. When he returns in the coming weeks, there's talk that Sanchez would play second. Uribe might move to third, and that might force Sandoval over to first base. And then the similarities between Sandoval and Fielder can really get connected.
And Sandoval can catch. He can do it all. I guess if you can catch, you can play anywhere.
You know, it is the smartest position on the ball field, that's for sure.
Most skilled position.
Kendall takes off. Molina's throw to second base is in time. Kendall was tagged high on the shoulder. Wasn't a great throw by Molina, but he's still able to get Jason Kendall.
Well, Brewers know something about the San Francisco Giants that they really don't try to do against any other team, and that's run. Already the 4th stolen base attempt by the Brewers. 3 of them have been successful, and pretty close at second.
And Escobar strikes out. So instead of a leadoff runner, 2 quick outs after the caught stealing.
This is where the Brewers would like to see a little improvement from Alcides Escobar. Cut down on that swing a little bit and be more patient at the plate. Maybe draw a few walks. But that will come in time. That's a big hack for a shortstop, especially with 2 strikes.
Stay in your lane, right?
Right.
Stay in your lane.
Stay within yourself. Sometimes that's tough to do when you're a little pumped up.
Suppan with his new batting stance. Right on top of the plate and crouching over as close as he can, making it tough on the pitcher to throw strikes.
And not many guys you see with their toes on the line of the batter's box.
Now he drew a bases loaded walk in his last start against the Pirates. There's a good look at just how tight to the plate Suppan is. And Zito puts one right in there. So a backwards K for Zito 2 strikeouts for Barry Zito as we head to the third. By Blaine Farm and Fleet. You'll always find value at your local Farm and Fleet. By Piggly Wiggly. Shop the pig and save. And by Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin.
Back at Miller Park, Drew Olson here filling in for Telly Hughes tonight. With me, the Brewers Executive Vice President of Business Operations, Rick Schlesinger. Rick, for starters, congratulations on reaching $3 million again.
Well, congratulations to the fans. I mean, what support we have is incredible. I mean, we may not be the biggest market, but the best fans in baseball. 3 million cheers in a row. It's a great tribute to the fans and privilege to be part of this community because they really support the team.
Now, you're so confident with that goal reached that you're starting to sell tickets for an event in January.
Yeah, Brewers on Deck, which is our fan fest. It'll be at Midwest Airlines Center, January 31st, 2010. Autograph sessions, clinics, lots of fun, lots of food. Players will be there. We had over 12,000 people come last year. We're expecting bigger crowds this year.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's a game tomorrow, too, and you've got an event for that, too.
Right, the player wives are offering brown bags, $25 will get you an autographed baseball. It's a mystery shop, so you might get a Prince Fielder, you might get an Ed Cedar, but it's all good for a good cause, raising money for Hunger Task Force.
I understand the mayor's going to be here tomorrow as well. I always thought Davey Nelson was the mayor, but I guess he's not.
Well, mayor's going to be here. He's going to be our Community Achiever Award winner for September. Obviously, what happened to him in that altercation, he's a true hero. He'll be thrown out the first pitch tomorrow.
Back to you, B.A. Rock. Thanks, Rick.
All right, Drew, thanks a lot. No disrespect to Ed Cedar, but you know, a Prince Fielder ball has a little more value than an Ed Cedar baseball.
I'd take an Ed Cedar ball.
Oh yeah, he doesn't sign just for anybody.
No, he doesn't.
So that'll be tomorrow. Good to see Rick Schlesinger. Congratulations to Rick and his staff, and another great year on the business side of it. Velez rolls out. Suppan has his first out of the third inning.
Hey, talk about 3 million fans here at Miller Park. How many tickets do you think the Brewer fans have purchased when the Brewers have been on the road? A lot of Brewer fans all over the country. Team travels. Love their Brewers.
And making Miller Park the place to be once again, which is the best part of it. Such a great atmosphere here. Every visiting broadcast team who comes through here comments on how much they enjoy working here. That's kind of how we gauge it. You know, we talk to those from the outside who come through Miller Park, and a great experience. Renteria sends one high in the air. When it comes down, Cameron will make the catch. Out number 2, 2 up, 2 down for Suppan in this third inning.
Yeah, Renteria just missed that one a little bit down on the end, and easy out to center field. But a rare mistake by Suppan left that one down the middle up in the strike zone. And once again, Sandoval coming up with 2 outs and nobody on, so you can be careful once again with him.
Suppan walked Sandoval on 4 pitches his last time up. missing on the inside corner, and he tries it again. Sandoval's getting frustrated, which is exactly what Suppan wants.
Yeah, why not? Can't hurt you too bad when he's backing out.
It's the 5th consecutive pitch he's had to jump out of the way of. And he rolls over one. So that was the order. And Sandoval is an easy out, and Suppan has an easy inning.
.4% of the votes. Cast your vote today at brewers.com/WeEnergies.
Having some fun at Miller Park tonight. Another big crowd on a Friday night in Milwaukee. Brewers returning from a road trip from St. Louis. And a nice win yesterday for the Crew against the Cardinals. Brewers lost 2 out of 3 to St. Louis, but Milwaukee a 4-3 victory behind Manny Parra yesterday, beating John Smoltz. Trevor Hoffman picked up his 30th save of the year and his career save number 584. So that was a good day at the ballpark yesterday and a very exciting game. And Ken Maka hoping that win propels the Brewers into a successful month of September.
It's all about starting pitching. We talk about momentum. I'm not a big believer, as Brewer fans know that watch the games, from game to game, it's all about, the starting pitcher setting the tone. He sets the pace. He kind of dictates what's going to happen throughout the rest of the day. And Suppan's done a nice job today. Manny Parra outstanding yesterday.
Lopez shoots one out to Uribe, and he bobbles, and Lopez is safe. Boy, that was right in the wheelhouse for the Giants second baseman, and he botched it. And the Brewers have a leadoff runner.
Yeah, a little nonchalant, I think. You never take any ground ball for granted. Hits him right on the heel of the glove, and then panic sets in, and you got to tip your hat to Lopez. A lot of times a guy on a group team grounder like that just kind of jogs down the line, but he beat it at first base.
So the 8th error for Uribe. Lopez still hampered by a toe injury that gives him pain in the arch of his foot as well, so he's not at 100% with his running speed.
But getting better every day.
Well, I think the off day certainly helped him out, and Lopez did not start yesterday in St. Louis. Maka wanted to give him a chance to get together before the homestand and maybe get some healing in that foot. It's not something that's going to heal 100% till the offseason. Felipe Lopez was talking about his frustration. You know, he's here in a new environment, traded to Milwaukee. He wants to show what he can do, and he's a speed guy. He uses his legs well.
And an important month for him. He's a free agent at the end of the year. He wants to show not only the Brewers but all of baseball that he's ready to rock and roll next year. That's the thing about, you know, baseball right now. You know, you're talking about first week in September. There aren't too many players out there that don't have some type of thing that's nagging them a bit. Not enough to keep them off the field, but you know, things that aren't going to fully heal until the end of the season. You'd be hard pressed to find anybody that's feeling 100% right now.
Lopez replacing Ricky Weeks, out for the season with a wrist injury. Lost him in early May. Bourgeois hangs tough. Pitch count continues to rise for Barry Zito. He's already at 55 pitches as we play in the third inning. Zito giving up 2 runs in the first. He's walked 3 thus far. Brewers have 2 hits, and the Giants have committed an error. Velez unable to run it down. Velez had Bourgeois shaded in the gap in left center. He had a long way to go for that baseball.
They came close. Guy can run. Just came up short.
One and 2 to Bourgeois. Last time up, he reached on a fielder's choice, and then he stole 2 bases. Stole second and third, and ended up scoring the first Brewers run. There's a bouncer to Uribe. Renteria, the turn, and a double play. 4-6-3, and the error is wiped out with 1 swing of the bat. That leads us to our carsoup.com email the booth question. George from Brookfield wants to know, who do you guys see as some of the next superstars in the major leagues? Well, we can start with Braun and Fielder, of course. Pablo Sandoval fits that mold.
Braun and Fielder are already there, aren't they?
They're already there. They're already there.
Yeah.
But they're only 25 years of age.
Right.
So you think George is wanting to know kind of the next wave, I guess?
Yeah, some of the up-and-comers.
Ah. I'll go with Albert Pujols and Prince Fielder.
Yeah. Some of the young pitchers that you see. Those guys are already superstars.
And if you're on this list, as Braun is, you're a superstar already.
Yeah.
Braun still waiting for career homer number 100.
Not too many flash in the pans on that list.
Giants have a great young pitcher named Matt Cain who will pitch tomorrow that you could put on that radar. Of course, Tim Lincecum has already won a Cy Young award, so he's elevated to that status.
Yeah, I guess once you win one of those big awards like that, I guess you're already made it.
Close pitch. Braun takes a ball.
And if you're on a video game like Lincecum is, you've already made it.
And Prince is on the cover of the Bigs too. Now that we have the ground rules established.
Yeah, now that we know who does not belong on the list. It's hard to say. I mean, who's going to be the next? I guess Sandoval's a guy that you could think of. And is Hanley Ramirez on the list? Yeah, he's probably
He's there. He's already there. We don't want to put too much pressure on these young players, right?
Right.
Full count to Braun. Takes a ball, and Ryan Braun has walked again. Second walk. Here comes Fielder. He leads the club in 36 home runs, Powerball home run leaderboard. Braun with 28, Mike Cameron 19, and McGee has pushed his way onto this list with 13. Fielder had an RBI his last time up and is now just 5 RBIs short of Cecil Cooper's franchise record. That was set in 1983. Fielder has a chance to not only set the franchise mark in RBIs but also in walks, which is an impressive feat to do it in the same season. Coming into play today, Prince with 89 walks for the year. Jeremy Burnett has the record, has 99 walks.
And because of those walk totals, that's why Prince Fielder is knocking on the door at 300. Right now at 299. Without the walks, those at bats would be mounting up, and it would be impossible. That's what's amazing about Sandoval. The guy never walks, and he's still hitting almost 330.
And you think about the Giants' 3 and 4 hitters, Sandoval and Molina. 50 walks combined between those two. Sandoval's walked just 38 times, while Molina just 12 times. So you combine those two and you get Ryan Braun's walk total for the year. Braun just earned his 50th walk of the season and his 2nd of the night, and Prince Fielder with 89 free passes. And you figure Sandoval would evolve into that kind of hitter as well. And if he keeps hitting like he is, more teams will start to pitch around him.
And he's only struck out 70 times, so he puts the ball in play. Giants as a unit have only got one player with more than 100 strikeouts. That's Aaron Rowan, and he's barely over 100 at 105. So they put the ball in play.
Fielder chased one out of the strike zone, and Zito punches him out. The inning is over, and the Brewers come up empty. A couple of runs in the first, still holding up for Jeff Suppan. It's 2-0.
Ground out, scoring Jason Bourgeois. Mike Cameron followed that with a 2-out single to drive in Ryan Braun, give the Brewers a 2-0 lead in the first inning. Jeff Suppan has worked around 2 walks and a hit batter, but he has not allowed a hit through the first 3 innings of work.
Good stuff. Drew Olson joining us here tonight. Drew actually went and rented a suit and everything tonight, Rock, for
Looks
his
good,
appearance.
doesn't he?
It's great. Good to have you with us, Drew.
It's got to be back by the end of the night, so let's hope it's not extra innings tonight.
It looks like an expensive one.
Watch for foul balls down there now. You're in a vulnerable spot, not your normal perch up high in the Scribes Lounge.
It's a lot more dangerous down here, and the food isn't as good as what you guys have. I liked the view I had with you guys, but the food up there really swings it towards the booth, I think.
You got all the double bubble you need, though. Drew Olson with us from onmilwaukee.com. Good to have him. 2-0 our score. The Brewers giving Jeff Suppan an early lead tonight. Suppan coming off a 3-up, 3-down third inning. How about the Giants in Philadelphia? In their last series, they dropped 2 out of 3 against the Phillies. Lost last night to Pedro Martinez and the Phillies by a 2-1 final score. The Giants gave up 3 runs in 3 games and lost 2 of them.
Yeah. Hang with them.
Man.
Now the Philly pitching staff starting to come around. Cliff Lee, that acquisition has helped him. Pedro Martinez, well, he's pitching well.
Oh, look at Escobar. He's got time to finish it. Wow, what a play by Escobar. Put that one on the reel right there. That was one of the best of the year we've seen.
Well, it seems like we've seen one of those from Escobar just about every day. He made a tremendous backhand play in St. Louis yesterday to get a base runner or get a hitter out. Able to play the hop. It was one of those in-between hops. He's able to stick the glove out, get it, and get Molina easily at first base. Tremendous hands by Escobar.
To redirect the glove in the air like that. Man, something special from Alcides Escobar. Wow. Gets better every time.
And you can't teach that kind of stuff. I mean, you just can't teach that.
Here's McGee charging. Uribe thrown out. Nice plays.
You either have instincts like that or you don't. I mean, there's no coach. Willie Randolph can't work with somebody and teach them to do that. You either have that or you don't have it. And Casey McGee is able to make that one a much easier play than the one Escobar made. But an out's an out. And Suppan doing a nice job keeping the ball on the ground.
7 ground ball outs for Jeff Suppan here tonight. Suppan's retired 7 straight now as he faces Nate Shearholtz. Shearholtz walked his last time up. Back-to-back base runners for the Giants in the second on a Shearholtz walk, and then Suppan hit Aaron Rowan. And a strike on the corner. 2-1. Giants open the day 1 game behind the Rockies in the wild card race in the National League. 6.5 back of the Dodgers for the division. So I think while the Giants still thinking about a division title, they still have a number of games left with the Dodgers. The wild card is a more realistic route for them to the postseason. 72 wins all of last year, 73 this season. As Lopez makes the play, and a nice inning for Jeff Suppan, a 3-up, 3-down inning. And one of the best we've seen this year from the shortstop position. Alcides Escobar puts Barry Zito back on the mound for the Giants as we head to the bottom of inning number 4. Casey McGee ready to lead off. Zito has 3 strikeouts thus far, but he's given up 3 walks, make it 4 walks. 2 first inning runs for the Brew Crew. RBIs from Prince Fielder and Mike Cameron. Casey McGee walked in his first at bat against Zito. It's a big day for Casey McGee today. Casey at the bat for cerebral palsy. This is the day for that event. If you don't know the story, Casey's son Mac has cerebral palsy, and Casey's been right at the front and raising awareness and funds for cerebral palsy. Doing a great job here this year. Tough for a rookie to come in and kind of establish something in the community that quickly, but certainly an effort that is near and dear to Casey's heart, and it's been quite a story to follow all season. Not just McGee's success on the field, but the interaction between he and his son Mac, and he's become quite the star himself.
Yeah, he's a showstopper. Mac is quite the character.
A lot going on the community relations front, and for more on that, let's check in with Drew.
Guys, each year Brewers general manager Doug Melvin and his wife Ellen host a private fundraising event with friends and family to raise money for the Susan G. Komen for the Cure's Milwaukee affiliate. This is the 4th year in which they'll be holding their Step Up to the Plate event to raise funds they hope will help end breast cancer forever. Ellen Melvin lost her mother to breast cancer, and she's determined to help other families avoid this heartache. Through their personal efforts the past 3 years, Doug and Ellen Melvin have raised $75,000 to support Komen Milwaukee. That's a great cause.
Absolutely, and good for them, and good for Doug and Ellen. Great cause that baseball is so connected with the cancer research, and of course the Susan G. Komen Foundation.
Yeah, just about every one of the Brewers, not just players, but front office and coaches. Everybody seems to be involved in some charitable organization and some effort to raise funds. Prostate research is a big thing with Major League Baseball as well.
2 balls and a strike on Cameron. Count evens at 2-2. Cameron drove in a run with his single in his last at bat.
A mistake by Zito on an 0-2 pitch. He hung a curveball, and Cameron he would have belted into left.
Now Zito has been pitching so well for the Giants since the All-Star break. Has 4 wins. 4 of his 9 wins have come since the Midsummer Classic. So in less than 2 months, he has 4 victories, only 2 losses, and an ERA of 1.92 since the All-Star break. He had a stretch there where he went 20 innings without giving up a run. Looked like he was on his way to a complete game in his last start against the Rockies. Just came up an out short. Zito gave up a run, but look at the numbers since the All-Star break and the opponent's batting average. A big key to that. And as you mentioned, Rock, he's found a little extra on his fastball that has set up everything else in his repertoire. Breaks the bat of Mike Cameron. And out number 2 to Juan Uribe. Time now for the Aflac Trivia question. What Giants player was a 4-sport All-State athlete in 2002 at West Bend East High School? Mike Faulkner, our stats man, very proud.
That kind of narrows it down, doesn't it? Let's go into the media guide, and whoever it is from Wisconsin. One of the broadcasters, a Sturtevant native.
Dwayne Kuiper.
Dwayne Kuiper loves Wisconsin, loves coming to Milwaukee. They got to come here 2 times this year. There's Kite.
There's Dwayne Kuiper. And his brother Jeff is the Giants producer. I'm not sure where that leaves Mike Krukow, but you know how brothers can be. Did Krukow show you the new sensation in San Francisco?
Yes, he did.
The broadcaster.
Giant bobbles.
They're giant. They're okay. Let me back up a minute. So they're the size of the racing sausages.
Right. But they look just like them.
And then they look like these guys.
Right. John Miller, Dave Fleming.
Dave Fleming, Dwayne Kuiper, and
the radio guys and the TV guys.
Speaking of Dave Fleming, he's not here this week. We want to send out our best. I'm sure he's watching. But his wife is due to give birth any day now, so Dave leaving Milwaukee. There's the great voice of the Giants, John Miller, all dressed up for the occasion tonight.
The golden pipes of John Miller.
Probably weaving some story right now about Ross Young's and great Giant history. Always good to see John Miller.
I remember him when he was an Orioles broadcaster. Back in the day. Now, if Dave Fleming's not here, right?
Right.
And John Miller leaves for television work.
Oh, we got a dilemma. You know who the Giants are bringing in?
Who's that?
The son of the legendary Giant broadcaster, Hank Greenwald, Doug Greenwald.
Okay. Mystery solved.
Mystery solved. You're on. You didn't get that press release?
I didn't.
The newest Giant, Brad Penny, after 8 shutout innings against the Phillies. Kendall draws another walk. Zito has struggled with his command in this game. Allowed 2 walks in the first inning. He walked Kendall in the second. And now his 5th walk of the game. Both Braun and Kendall have walked twice.
Yeah, 2 starts ago, he walked 6 batters at Colorado.
Three horses in that Giant starting rotation right there. Brad Penny, Tim Lincecum, and Matt Cain. Cain will get to start tomorrow against Gallardo. And that's going to be some fun here at Miller Park. National TV tomorrow on Fox. Saw Eric Karros earlier today. So I'm going to assume he's one of the broadcasters. I'm not sure who the other one's going to be. But we'll be watching.
A little bit disappointed the Brewers don't face Lincecum. He's always a lot of fun to watch. Of course, I don't think the Brewer hitters are too upset about it. 233 strikeouts for Lincecum. That leads the National League.
Lincecum pitched last night. And a 2-1 Philadelphia win. Lincecum matched up with Pedro Martinez. Pedro Martinez said Lincecum reminds him of himself. To lightly built, small frame pitchers. And the same kind of talk that surrounds Tim Lincecum was the chatter around Pedro when he first arrived. He's too small to hold up and continue to throw that way. Pedro bucked them all. Escobar with a base hit. And with 2 outs, the Brewers get 2 on base, and at the very least, they clear the pitcher, Jeff Suppan.
Another mistake with a breaking pitch, and Escobar able to hit it hard into left. Escobar swung through a high breaking ball, pretty much the same spot. This time able to get on top of it and get a base hit in the left field.
Zito shaking out that elbow. 90 pitches already. Suppan has not been very eager to swing the bat since coming back from the oblique injury.
See that left elbow hanging over the inside corner. To the letter of the rule book, if you hang your elbow out there on the corner and it hits your elbow and it's over the plate, it's a strike. And Suppan very close to having that elbow right on the corner.
Quick trip to the mound from Giants pitching coach Dave Righetti.
I've never seen it called, but that's what the rule book states.
Well, Suppan certainly making himself a difficult target at the plate. Standing right on top of the plate.
At least it's not his pitching elbow hanging out there.
Takes a strike. You think maybe Dave Righetti went out there and told Zito that Suppan hasn't swung the bat yet tonight?
Rag's very observant. Maybe he did.
3 balls and a strike. Three and 1 the count. Suppan takes a strike, but he watched it all the way into the glove. Saw every bit of it.
Pretty good pitch to hit right there.
Well, the runners will get a head start. Full count, 2 outs. And a called strike 3. Suppan is down on strikes. And the inning is over. The Brewers strand a pair. And our Aflac trivia question here tonight. What Giants player was a 4-sport all-state athlete at West Bend East High School? Aflac! And if you've scoured your rosters, you know it's Ryan Rollinger. How about a football quarterback at West Bend, and then played basketball as a point guard, tennis and baseball. 4-sport athlete at West Bend East, and a good friend of Mike Faulkner, our stats man. Those two used to, train together when Mike was an athlete.
Train?
The young Rollinger out there with the softball team.
That catcher, right?
It's the first time the phrase train and Mike Faulkner have been used in the same sentence in a while.
He had a big old smile on his face up here talking about his old buddy. That's good to see. That's a pretty good catching down in that neck of the woods, huh? Jason Jaramillo from down there, catcher for the Pirates. Vinny Rottino
A couple of Racine boys.
Can't forget about Marcus Hannell.
Yeah, Marcus Hannell. And Marcus Hannell's big event is coming up in Racine.
Yes, it is.
The Coups for Kids event on Monday. There's Marcus Hannell talking to David Weathers. We'll be filling you in on the Coups for Kids event. As we get closer, Suppan another inside corner fastball. 2-2 the count. Monday in Racine after the day game, Labor Day. Ooh, didn't miss by much.
You can see second time through Suppan, working away a little bit more than he did the first time through the order. Looked like it might have been high enough. Looked like it might have had the corner.
Gets him this time. Rolling down on strikes as we check in with Drew Olson.
Guys, you were just talking about Ryan Rollinger from West Bend. We talked to Bruce Bochy before the game. Remember in spring training, he hit a walk-off homer against the team he grew up rooting for. We were calling him the Babe Ruth of spring training. If he could have just played the Brewers every day, probably would have made the club out of spring training. But Rollinger's probably not going to get a start in the game here. Bruce Bochy said he'd like to play him. He'll see how it goes. But he's not planning on starting him any of the 3 games, which is too bad for the Rollinger family that's at the ballpark this weekend.
How many does he have here, you think, Drew?
Oh, it's got to be dozens. I hear people screaming for him from behind me, so I think he's got a pretty big family.
What a thrill that has to be, Rock. You played in your hometown as well, and to be able to not only make it to the big leagues is an accomplishment enough, but then to be able to do it in your hometown and come back. And Rollinger has a lot of friends and family here from West Bend, and to play in this ballpark. Remember, he was in high school when this ballpark had just opened back in '01.
Well, closest American League ballpark for me, where I grew up in Trenton, New Jersey, was Yankee Stadium. Had a number of tickets that I left for the first game ever that I started at Yankee Stadium, which was nerve-wracking in itself.
Ishikawa into shallow center. Mike Cameron cannot run it down. That's normally a ball that Cameron gobbles up. Not sure if he saw it all the way. It's a base hit for Ishikawa, and that is the first hit of the ball game for the San Francisco Giants.
Now just a little bit off the end of the bat, and Mike Cameron, I think, froze initially and wasn't able to get there. Looked like off the bat it was going to be an out, but it fooled Mike out in center. Well, the Giants finally on the hit board in the 5th inning.
And Bruce Bochy is going to take a shot at it with 1 out. Barry Zito will be lifted from the game, and Fred Lewis will hit. Lewis cues one. Ryan Braun right there for it. Out number 2. Lewis out on the first pitch.
Early exit for Zito tonight. Didn't see that coming.
Just 4 innings. 3 hits and 2 runs. This is a ball club desperate for offense. And if in fact Zito is healthy and is out because Bochy needed a big hit, that gives you a little understanding why.
Well, just one of those nights for Zito. He only gave up two runs, but he was laboring just about every inning. 5 walks, 5 strikeouts for Barry Zito in 4 innings. Only gave up 3 hits.
Top of the order, Eugenio Velez, 0 for 2 tonight against Suppan. Now some of the struggles for the Giants offensively, you can translate that to what the Brewers have experienced on the pitching side. It can get very frustrating, especially when you have a team that pitches like the Giants. And they're right in the race. No question. They're a game back in the wild card and playing great baseball, primarily because of their pitching. And you figure if they hit at all, they've got a chance to make it to the postseason and do some damage in the postseason.
There's no shortage of pinch hitters for Bruce Bochy. The Giants, as you mentioned, in the pennant race, and they brought up a ton of players. They have 10 extra players on the bench. I mean, they've used one, that's Fred Lewis. 10 players on the bench and 10 pitchers in the bullpen.
How about that, huh?
So if he needs offense, he's got enough pitching to cover it if he's going to pinch hit.
Low throw gets by Prince. And Ishikawa will end up at second base on an error, a throwing error from Suppan.
I'm not sure why you need to throw over to Ishikawa on first. He's not a base stealer. And it cost him second base, and now a base hit. Could mean a run. Ishikawa not a very big lead, but Suppan spikes the throw over to first base.
Suppan's second error of the year. Velez in a hitter's count at 2-1. Giants for only the second time tonight with a runner in scoring position. And Velez rolls one out to Lopez. Suppan is through 5. No runs allowed on just one hit. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered.
And tonight's Tavern of the Game winner is Sports Bar and Grill in Two Rivers, Wisconsin. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to an April or May 2010 Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin at Miller Lite.
Tight game here at Miller Park tonight. The Brewers and the Giants in the first of a 3-game series. 2-0 Brew Crew after 2 first-inning runs. RBIs from Prince Fielder and Mike Cameron in the first. And they've made it hold up. Suppan through 5 innings of shutout baseball and only 1 hit allowed. Justin Miller is on to pitch for the Giants. His 43rd game of the year. Good numbers out of that Giants bullpen this season.
Yeah, when you have a team run average at 3.5, there's not too many guys coming out of that bullpen that have gotten banged around too much. And Miller with good stuff. 3-3 record in 42 appearances.
Zito on the hook for the loss after 4 innings. 2 runs allowed, but 3 hits and 5 walks given up by Zito. And a high pitch count through his first 4 innings. The Giants pitching staff has the most strikeouts in the league, the fewest hits allowed, and the fewest runs allowed, and the second best ERA as a team, a 3.50 earned run average as a group.
Well, and you ask yourself, if that's the case, how can they be third in ERA? Because they haven't thrown as many innings as the Cardinals and the Dodgers.
The top two teams in the league. The Dodgers are the National League leaders in earned run average. Full count to Felipe Lopez. And he hangs tough. Count remains 3-2. Keeping an eye on the Rockies tonight. Colorado with that 1-game lead over the Giants. They are underway against Arizona. Rockies are at home tonight, facing Dan Herron. 1-0 Colorado leads it in the second inning. Rockies got a first inning run off Dan Herron. Lopez draws the walk. So that theme continues for the Brewers. Their 6th walk of the game. That leads us to our U.S. Cellular text to vote question. Who is the team to beat in the National League right now? Want to hear from you tonight? Text your answer to 234-234.
Well, for the Brewers tonight, it's Z, and that's the Giants. That's the team for the Brewers to beat.
The team to beat
is the one you're playing that particular day, right?
But in our fan poll, the Cardinals seem to be leading. And I agree with them. Cardinals, as good as the Dodgers have been all season, the Cardinals right now look like the best team in the National League. But a lot could change in a month.
A team to beat, obviously. I'm just messing around, but the best team, the team that will probably be, the toughest to beat in postseason.
Jody Garrett pinch hitting.
I shouldn't mess around that way, should I?
Did you say something, Rock?
Yeah. I didn't.
I got you.
Hey fans, on September 14th, 15th, and 16th, Wisconsin Coach Lines is offering motor coach service to Wrigley Field for $15 round trip. Free parking is available at Miller Park in the Expos lot or from the Ryan Road Park and Ride. For information, go to wisconsincoach.com or call 877-324-7767.
That's a good idea.
That's you don't want to be driving on your own, not with the traffic.
That's a nice opportunity there. The Brewers and the Cubs coming up on the next road trip. Brewers will go to Arizona on Friday, a 3-game series with the Diamondbacks, and then to Chicago. 2-0 to count on Garrett. 3 balls, no strikes, as Justin Miller is having a hard time finding the strike zone. Walked him on 4 straight. How about this start for Justin Miller? Back-to-back walks. The Brewers now at 2 on with nobody out.
And 7 walks already in the first 4+ innings. Boy. For a pitching staff that prides itself in throwing strikes, they haven't been doing a good job of it tonight.
Well, here comes Ryan Braun. 2 plate appearances tonight, 2 walks. He's also stolen a base and he has scored a run. And the Brewers a chance to create a little distance.
Throws a lot of breaking balls when he's either ahead in the count or even in the count. 2 different sliders. And he's got a forkball / split-fingered fastball that he uses with 2 strikes. When he gets in trouble, he's got enough on his fastball to get it by you. Mid-90s.
Oh, 0-2 on Braun. Prince Fielder waiting to hit next. Justin Miller in his first year as a Giant. We saw him last year in Florida. Remember that Marlins bullpen. 2 on, nobody out. And Braun lays off the slider.
Dropped down a little bit on that slider. Trying to get Ryan to open up that front shoulder and then just drop it on the outside corner.
Braun sitting on 99 career homers. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a bouncer foul. Anxious times for the Giants manager Bruce Bochy, trying to navigate his way through this road trip. The Giants have not been a very good road team this year. Still got the good hands. San Francisco has lost 6 of their last 8 games on the road, and they're 11 games under 500 away from AT&T Park.
It's unusual that you would be in a pennant race when you're that many games under 500 away from home. Normally teams try to play 500. You play 500 on the road and you win 2 out of 3 at home. Ordinarily that's going to give you about 90 to 92 wins.
You know what's interesting about the road record? There is a little precedent that has been set. You remember the 06 Cardinals, the team that Jeff Suppan pitched on. They had a losing record on the road. They won the World Series. And 3 of the last 5 World Series winners all had losing records on the road. The Cardinals of 06, the White Sox.
Look at the Twins in '87. You kidding? Wow.
Twins and the Cardinals, the 2 World Series winners. The Astros and the White Sox made it to the postseason. Houston made it to the World Series that year with a losing record on the road.
That was the year that the Twins went to the postseason with 87 wins and beat the Tigers.
And in 06, the Cardinals went all the way through to the World Series with 83 regular season wins. Full count to Braun. And Miller making sure Lopez doesn't leave early.
Now this would be a pretty good running situation. You figure Ryan Braun's been seeing a lot of pitches. Pretty good chance he's going to put the bat on it. The Brewers been running a lot anyway.
Lopez and Garrett on the bases. Foul territory, that's going to end up in the seats. And Braun hanging tough. A long at bat here for Ryan Braun.
8 pitches.
Justin Miller throwing a lot of pitches in this inning. Remember, he walked Lopez on 8 pitches. He walked Garrett on 4 consecutive balls out of the strike zone. And then Braun's worked it full.
After falling behind 0-2 on the first 2 pitches.
Pitch number 20 for Miller, and he is without an out. 2 on. Nobody out. Braun at the plate, fielder on deck. Here's a 3-2. Braun bounces another one foul.
It's been a combination of fastballs and sliders. He's going back to back on the fastball a couple times, back to back on the slider a couple of times. More pitches you see up there at the plate, particularly with a hitter like Ryan Braun, better chance you have of getting a good swing at one. Doesn't have much left to surprise you.
See what Miller has to offer here. 3-2. Once again, the 10th pitch of the at bat. And Braun strikes out. Put a fastball by him.
Chased it. Ball 4. Well, good job by Miller, finally able to get him. Fell behind 0-2 quickly. That was probably the best pitch for Ryan to hit in that at bat. A couple of fastballs got him ahead. Then he tried to put him away with a slider. A couple of sliders back to back. Then he went 3 consecutive fastballs. Ryan Braun continued to show good patience at the plate, fouled off a couple, and finally on pitch number 10 chases a pitch out of the strike zone. There it is.
Still 2 on. Fielder at the plate. Prince drove in a run in the first inning on a ground out. Slated the first Brewers run. 2-run first. That's been all of the runs in this game. Suppan working on a 1-hit shutout through 5 innings. Crew trying to add to it here in the bottom of the 5th. And Prince lays off one. Two balls and a strike. Casey McGee would be next. The Giants are looking for the double play to get him out of the inning. Not often do you get through an inning unscathed with 2 on, nobody out, and Braun and Fielder coming up. Three and 1. Fielder's next walk would be his 90th of the year.
If his pitch is anywhere close to its fastball, look out. Prince is going to put a colossal swing on it.
Got a good pitch to hit, and he fouled it away. Full count.
Not colossal, but a pretty good hack. Finishes high.
Justin Miller's sneaky fast with that upper 80s fastball. He hides it well, the hitters will tell you. Full count to Fielder. 2 on, 1 away. And Prince, did he go? They're going to ask. No, he didn't. Able to check his swing, says Jerry Meals. And the bases are loaded. 3 walks in the inning given up by Justin Miller, and Bruce Bochy has seen enough. Big spot for the Crew. Bob Howery coming in. McGee coming up. Stay with us. Performance on this date back in 1991. the alleged asterisk attached to Roger Maris's record of 61 home runs in 1961 officially removed by an 8-man committee. In actuality, the asterisk never existed, but Maris's record had been listed separately under a 162 game distinction. So there's no asterisk, but it was separated from the 154 game schedule to the 162 and rightly removed. Bob Howery is on to pitch. A former Cub facing his former teammate Casey McGee. In a bases loaded situation, the Brewers have a 2-0 lead.
A little bit early for Bob Howery. This has got more of a setup man for Bruce Bochy, but he's figuring that this is probably as important a spot as there will be late in the ball game. So brings on Howery, who's got a very good changeup in his arsenal.
McGee, a line shot right at Uribe for the out. Well, the Brewers catch a bad break right there. That was smoked to Uribe.
That fastball right down the middle. Casey McGee gets good contact on it, gets on top of it. And Uribe didn't even have to move. A couple of steps and an easy out. And looking for more.
That ball had a chance to go to the wall if it gets by Uribe. It was hit that well.
And it was hit so hard that none of the base runners had a chance to move, too far off the bag to get doubled up.
So it's going to be up to Cameron with the bases loaded. 2 outs in the inning. Cameron pops it foul. Bob Howery was on the mound for one of the biggest moments in franchise history for the Brewers. He was the pitcher that gave up the home run to Ryan Braun last year. On the final day of the regular season in the 8th inning, the home run that put the Brewers ahead in a game that they would win on a CC Sabathia complete game that would send the Brewers to the postseason. This time around, it's the Giants making a run at a postseason in September. Cameron drove in a run in the first, had an RBI single into left field, scored the second Brewers run. A homer away from a 20 homer season once again for Mike Cameron. Ball and a strike.
He doesn't miss by much, does he? I mean, that pitch missed off the corner. Pitch before that looked like a pretty good pitch, but apparently a bit low. So Cameron now in a hitter's count. You figure Howery doesn't want to go 3-1.
Cameron pops it up to right. Shearholtz toward the line. He's got it. And the inning is over. The Brewers let an opportunity go by, but still leading 2-0. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery and its family of instant scratch games. Odds are you'll like them. By Airtran. Go. There's nothing stopping you. And by Aflac. We've got you under our wing. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Brewers. Edgar Renteria will lead off for the Giants. The Brewers stranding the bases loaded in the bottom of the fifth. And let's hope Jeff Suppan can keep it going here. Big opportunity lost. Suppan, on the other hand, has shut down the Giants through 5 innings. He's given up just 1 hit, which was a flare single to center field by Ishikawa. Suppan has walked 2 batters and he's hit a batter.
Boy, really doing a nice job keeping the baseball down in the strike zone. Hasn't made any mistakes upstairs. A lot of ground ball outs. That's what you like to see from Suppan. Soup's only allowed 3 fly ball outs tonight. Ground balls and strikeouts.
Three and 1 to Renteria. And that one missed. So Renteria draws the walk. 3rd issued by Suppan. I want to remind you to get your registrations put together for Brewers Fantasy Camp. If you think you still have the skills, January 31st through February 7th, call 262-679-3612 to register, or you just log on to the web at brewers.com/fantasycamp. Here's Pablo Sandoval with Renteria at first base. Sandoval is 0 for 1. Suppan walked him on 4 straight in the 1st inning. And then Sandoval grounded out in the 3rd. Sup could use a ground ball here.
Yeah, first time the Giants have had their leadoff hitter on.
Sandoval has had a good season series against the Brewers. Has 9 hits in 24 at-bats. Had 4 hits in April, first series of the year. And then when the Giants came here to Miller Park in June, Sandoval was the star offensively. 5 hits in the series, including 3 home runs.
Didn't like that last call, did he? Firing his bat around. Kind of wears his emotions on his sleeve.
Shows a good eye.
Now Suppan tried to throw a little bit further off the corner. Mike DeMuro gave him maybe about an inch off the corner for strike 2. Suppan wanted to see how far he was going to go out there.
Two and 2. And Renteria back. Sandoval pops it up. Long run for Braun. Escobar's out there as well, and it's going to be Braun who makes the catch.
Almost overran it. Ryan had a good head of speed up. Escobar got out there, realized he wasn't going to be able to get there, and watch Ryan actually has to reach back to catch it. Almost overran it. It was a fair ball. Look how far Escobar gets out there. Ryan Braun calls it off. Escobar stops, and Braun hauls it in.
Had him nervous here a little bit. Braun had it all the way, he says. And the first out. Good pitch by Suppan to retire the dangerous Sandoval. And now Benji Molina. Got to be careful on the first pitch with this guy.
A good example of that pop-up priority that we did on our post-game instructional last homestand. Both players going hard after it until somebody calls. Ryan Braun called late. If you call it, you better make sure you catch it. You never call a ball unless you know you're going to be able to get there.
And you want to make sure you say, I got it. You don't want to say, I think I got it.
Well, you want to say you know I got it about 10 times to make sure that Escobar in that case peels off.
Or yo lo tengo for Escobar. There's a strike. Suppan drops one in on Molina.
The other thing you don't want to yell is you take it, you take it. That doesn't work either.
No. Now, shortstops who can run always susceptible to the scariest injury for an infielder. All you have to do is talk to Dale Swaim about that. The infielder runs out into the outfield, and of course the outfielder comes in and there's a collision.
And most of the time an infielder is looking back toward the infield and can't see the outfielder. So if nobody calls it, nobody's sure that they're going to get it. That's when you have problems.
That's how Dale Swaim broke his leg early in his career.
He and Darrell Hamilton in Texas. Actually, Detroit.
Ball and 2 strikes on Benji Molina. Just now getting back into the lineup the last couple of days. A strained quad. Missed 8 starts. Molina looked like he had a base hit his last time up. Escobar made a miraculous play at short to retire him. A play you will see again many times tonight on the highlight shows. 2-2. 1 man out in the Giants' 6th. That gets away from Kendall.
Yeah, big play now, a ground ball. Brewers aren't going to be able to turn the double play. You would think that Benji Molina would be about the best double play candidate that there could possibly be. He's only grounded into 11 double plays. That's not many. That ball in the dirt. Kendall thought he had it, but scooted off to the side. And Renteria gets into second base on the wild pitch.
Tying run at the plate. Molina, the Giants cleanup hitter. And he pops it up. Another pop up from the middle of the order for the Giants. So Sandoval and Molina retired in order here. And Suppan with 2 men out and a runner at second. All right, now it's time for a look at tonight's Guess the Stance feature. Who is this Major League player? You can text who you think the batting stance guy is imitating to short code 234-234, keyword Brewers. We'll have the answer for you in tonight's Brewers Live post-game show with Jeff Grayson and Davey Nelson and Drew Olson. Two outs. Here's Uribe. Couple of ground ball outs for Uribe. Once to short, once to third. Suppan moving the ball well tonight.
Established the inside corner first time through. Since that time, he's been more of the traditional style for Suppan, going away. You start him out looking inside, then you go back outside. That's his comfort zone.
Suppan making his third start since returning from the disabled list. An oblique injury had him on the DL for a month. Had some interesting comments too after his last start. He pitched well against the Pirates and picked up the win, and he said, you know, today, speaking after the Pirates game, he just let it go. He didn't try to protect the injury like he did the first time out of the gate, which is only natural. Uribe lays off another one. 3-1.
This guy you want right here, Scherholz. On deck, the left-handed hitter. He's had big numbers against the Brewers this year.
Suppan doesn't give in with a base open, and Uribe draws the walk. Second walk of the inning given up by Jeff Suppan. Fourth of the game. And 2 men are on with 2 outs. And here comes Chris Bosio.
Activity just now started down in that Brewer bullpen. And we talk about just started, we're talking about just now. Looks like Todd Coffey up in the pen. Then a little breather for Jeff Suppan, whose pitch count not too bad right now, 93 pitches.
Now Suppan has surrendered 4 walks and a hit batter, but he's only given up 1 hit. That was a little flare single to center field by Ishikawa. 5 2/3 innings with just 1 hit and no runs thus far. And the biggest threat for the Giants since the second inning. First and second, 2 gone. And here's Nate Scherholz. Scherholz facing Suppan for only the 5th time this year. He's 2 for 4 against him with a walk. Mark DeFelice gets loose. Aaron Rowan the next hitter. DeFelice warming up in a hurry.
It was Todd Coffey. He sat down. That's an interesting move. Sit down, big boy. Don't need you yet.
Scherholz to center field. Mike Cameron is, he dropped the baseball. And a run is going to score. Cameron was right there for it. A sinking line drive from Scherholz. In and out of the glove of Mike Cameron, and the run comes in. 2-1, the Brewers lead.
Probably going to go down as an error on Cameron. It looked like he had a beat on it. It was sinking as it got to him. And looked like he had it, just hit him in the heel of the glove and hit the ground. And a big run in. An inning not yet over for Jeff Suppan. Should be out of the inning. That's got to be an error, doesn't it?
No official score has been posted yet, but you would think, especially
that ball in the glove. Well, Scherholz hits it right on the nose. The ball's sinking out to Cameron, and no way you can give that a hit.
And now it's posted as an error. So either way a run scores, the inning continues for Aaron Rowan. Well, the Giants get a huge break in this 6th inning. Cameron doesn't botch many, but had that one right in his glove.
Yeah, kind of mistakes you can't make in a 2-0 game. And trying to come inside, and Suppan trying to catch the outside corner. Missed with it, but looked like a pretty good pitch.
Rarely get that call, huh?
No.
When you have to reach across like that.
You got the catcher setting up inside. That umpire is zeroed in that spot in the strike zone, and when you miss by that much, tough for him to make that adjustment. Sometimes he'll give it to you, but not often.
Tying run at third base. Go ahead run at first for the Giants. And the 1-1 to Rowan in the dirt. Kendall blocks. Good play by Kendall to keep the runner at third, and it's 2-1. And Ken Maka wondering about the next move. He's got DeFelice ready.
They got a left-hander on deck, and you got the pitcher spot coming up after that. I doubt you want DeFelice facing the left-hander.
Maka has two left-handers in his bullpen, Mitch Stetter and Chris Narveson.
Well, DeFelice probably getting ready for Aaron Rowan. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. Suppan was able to face Scherholtz, wasn't able to get him out. So I guess kind of surprised that DeFelice wasn't brought in to face the right-hander, because you don't figure DeFelice going to come in for Ishikawa, the lefty.
2-2 on the way. And a base hit. And this game is all tied up. Aaron Rowan delivers with a single to right. And a costly error by Mike Cameron. And the Giants get new life, and they take advantage of it.
Well, now what do you do? I mean, you got to leave Suppan in now. I mean, DeFelice probably your last option for a right-hander to face a left-handed bat. No lefty up in the pen for the Brewers, but they're going to bring him in. That fastball up out over the plate, and he dumps it in the right. And DeFelice coming in to face the lefty.
So Suppan is out after 5 2/3. And Ken Maka rolling the dice here, bringing in DeFelice against. Of the fifth, they could not score. Looked like they were out of the sixth inning, but a Mike Cameron error has opened it up. The Giants have 2 runs in. They've tied it up, and now Mark DeFelice, who normally struggles against left-handed hitters, is facing a left-handed hitter in Travis Ishikawa. Runners at the corners and 2 outs. Suppan leaves after 5 2/3 innings and cannot win this game. DeFelice allowing opponents from the left side a .288 batting average and rarely faces left-handed hitters. There's a strike. Backdoored him, and it's 1-1. Suppan leaves this game, Rock, with only 2 hits allowed.
Well, he pitched well. He deserved a much better fate. He should have been out of that 6th inning with a 2-0 lead. Now double barrel action down in that Brewer bullpen. That's early for that 6th inning.
1-2 to Ishikawa.
They mentioned that the Giants have 10 relief pitchers in the bullpen. So do the Brewers. 2 lefties and 8 right-handers. Jesus Colome activated off the DL today.
We'll see if DeFelice can buck the trend here. 1-2 the count on Ishikawa. The Giants have had 1 clean hit tonight. Rowan's hit that tied this game just a moment ago. Ishikawa had the first hit. And DeFelice strikes him out. So Ken Maka goes away from the numbers. And DeFelice picks him up. An error by Cameron opens the inning. The Giants only get 2 and the Brewers all tied up. Brewed Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. And by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Tundra Territory at Miller Park. And our Miller Lite, what's on tap? The Brewers' upcoming schedule on national television tomorrow. Dick Stockton and Eric Karros will have the call for Fox tomorrow. And then Sunday, we're back on Fox Sports Wisconsin. That is a matinee. And then Labor Day is a matinee as well. 12:30 airtime both days. And 1 o'clock start time. Hope you'll make plans to be with us, if not here at the ballpark, on this holiday weekend and on Brewers television. Jason Kendall leads off for the Brewers. 2-2 ball game here in the bottom of the 6th. And a big swing for the Brewers from the bottom of the 5th to the top of the 6th inning. Milwaukee had 2 on with Braun and Fielder coming up and nobody out. And cannot score. And the Giants looked like they were out of the inning without a run scoring as well. A Cameron error opens it up. Rowan drives in the tying run. And we're all even here in the bottom of the 6th. Kendall, Escobar, then the pitcher spot due up for the Crew. Second trip of the year for the Giants to Milwaukee. They took 2 out of 3 from the Brewers earlier this season. That was back in June. Won a series from the Brewers in April as well. One of the surprise teams in the National League still in the picture. You knew their pitching was going to be good, but was it going to be good enough to keep them in this position this late?
It's been barely good enough, the offense. Pitching has been tremendous from day one.
Kendall with a base hit. A 2-strike single to left. And a leadoff base runner for the Brew Crew. By the way, speaking of Jason Kendall, the inventory of Kendall bobbleheads that replaced those damaged in the June flood have arrived. And you can redeem the collectibles beginning at tonight's game. Please note that you must present a voucher for redemption. Vouchers were distributed to fans who did not receive the Kendall bobblehead on the date of the all-fan giveaway. That was back on June 28th. So there's tables set up. If you're not attending a Brewers game, you can redeem with your voucher at the Brewers team store during regular hours. Alcides Escobar with Kendall at first. Catalanato has moved into the on-deck circle, so he'll hit for D. Felice next. The Brewers with 2 runs in the first inning, 0 since. Barry Zito out after 4 innings. Justin Miller went a third of an inning, and now Bob Howry as Escobar unable to get the bunt down.
Well, Ken Maka, knowing that his number 9 spot in the order is going to be filled by a pinch hitter, trying to get Escobar to get Kendall into scoring position. Got to get the bunt down.
Escobar is a good bunter with good speed as well. Nice one. Ishikawa makes a play and Escobar is out. Perfectly executed sacrifice bunt by Alcides Escobar.
Yeah, a little bit easier pitch to handle. The first one was in on his hands. It got back a little bit in him. Fouled it off. That one out away from him. Just able to catch the baseball with the barrel of the bat. Deadened it nicely for Ishikawa. The only play that he could make was to get him at first base. Might have taken a little bit too long to get rid of it. Ishikawa nonchalanted it a bit. And look at Escobar not taking anything for granted. He's hauling it down the line. They get him by a step.
Now Molina sent to the mound to talk it over with Howry. Giants have action in their bullpen as well, with the left-hander Catalanato coming up. When you have the luxury of 10 pitchers in your bullpen, you can afford to make situational changes at will.
And 3 of them left-handers.
The big question is for a manager, do you stick with your veteran or do you go with a young lefty? And right now Bochy's going to stick with Howry. 2-2 ball game, all tied up. Howry stays to face Catalanato. Oh, a foul tip right off the umpire, Mike DeMuro. Son of a former big league umpire, Lou DeMuro, Mike DeMuro. He's a legacy.
Lou didn't have a mask like that, though.
Called a strike. 0-2 on Catalanato. Catalanato has 6 pinch hits this year. Double barrel action in that Bochy bullpen. Go ahead run at second. Catalanato strikes out. Howry went wide after him. And Catalanato is gone. That is the first strikeout for Howry. Ho-Chunk Gaming text question tonight from Barron in Kenosha. Is there a maximum number of call-ups you can have in September? 15.
Yeah, you can only have 40 on your team at any given time.
Normally a 25-man roster until the final month of the season, and then you can expand it to your major league roster of 40 players. So while there's 25 men on the big league roster, scattered throughout the minor leagues are players who are on the major league roster but playing in the minor leagues, if that makes sense. They're protected on the major league roster.
Giants with 33.
Wow. That's a lot. It's a lot like what the Brewers did last year.
That's a lot of guys.
There's always those questions about adding so many players to the mix, and the Giants have added 8. Like the Brewers did last season, you know, does it affect kind of your clubhouse situation? The reason the Brewers brought up that many last year is the same reason the Giants did it this year. They want to have a player for just about every possible scenario.
Yeah, in order to be caught shorthanded, even if you go 15 innings.
Too much on the line for the Giants.
And then you have the Cardinals on the other side of that coin. They didn't have anybody when the Brewers were there.
Yeah, which was interesting. I mean, Troy Gloss was added to the roster. Not many hitters Tony La Russa needs to pinch hit for in that Cardinal lineup these days. Unlike Bochy in this Giants lineup.
But he certainly has a way of running out of pitchers. He'll go through 4 innings.
How's that happen? Howery against Lopez. 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th in a 2-2 game. And Howery deals the 2-2 pitch, and Lopez pops it foul.
Yeah, Howery with a pretty good fastball tonight. 94, 95 with a fastball, slider and a changeup. Don't remember Howery throwing this hard last year.
Kendall still at second. He started this inning with a base hit and was bunted into scoring position by Escobar. Full count. The Brewers have a left-hander on deck in Jody Garrett, and Bochy has a left-hander ready to go in the bullpen. Walked him. Lopez on base for the 4th time in this game. 2 walks, a hit, and he reached on an error. And the Giants manager scratching his head again, and he's on his way to make a change. 9 walks by Giants pitching tonight. That ties a season high. They walked 9 against the Dodgers back in April. Still a lot of baseball to be played. Bochy goes to his left-hander. We'll take a timeout, and we'll set him up when we continue. the crew tonight. They scored 2 runs in the first inning. Fielder with his 121st run batted in. Mike Cameron drove in 1 as well. Jeff Suppan pitched well tonight. 5 2/3 innings. Gives up only 2 hits, but 2 unearned runs, his undoing. A misplay by Mike Cameron. He committed the error that allowed the Giants not only to score a run but extend the inning, and then Aaron Rowan tied it up the very next batter. A 2-run Giants 6th. We're all tied at 2 in front of a crowd of 37,511. And a pitcher for the Giants ready to make his major league debut right in the middle of a pennant race. The left-hander Dan Runzler is on to work, and he faces Jody Garrett with 2 on and 2 out. The Brewers have the go-ahead run at second base.
Yeah, this guy made 4 different stops in the Giants minor league system. Good numbers for him. 5-1 with a .76 ERA. 4 different teams in the minor leagues.
Dan Runzler, 6'4" left-hander from Riverside, California. And he's quickly ahead of Jody Garrett, 0-2. And you know the heart has to be pounding here for Runzler. He's not only making his debut, but making it in the middle of a pennant race for the Giants, and in a tough spot. Got him. Struck him out on 3 straight pitches. Garrett arguing with Mike DeMiro, but the Brewers strand a pair and come up empty in the 6th. Giovanni Gallardo for the Brewers against Matt Cain for the Giants. What a pitching matchup tomorrow on national TV. Giants trying to keep pace with the Rockies in the wild card race. They're 1 back. 2-2 ball game. Todd Coffey enters as we head to the Giants half of the 7th inning.
Well, Todd Coffey up in the last inning for the Brewers. He got sat down very quickly. And DeFelice got ready, came in and did a nice job getting left-hander Ishikawa. Todd Coffey has been worked a lot. 63rd appearance so far this year, and a .273 earned run average. Gave up a home run his last time out.
How about the major league debut of Dan Runzler, striking out Jody Garrett on 3 straight pitches to strand 2 on base and seal up that 6th inning. scoreless for the Crew.
Certainly earning his keep for tonight.
Here's John Bowker, pinch hitting for San Francisco. Bruce Bochy using everyone at his disposal here tonight. Rock told you about the expansive bench for the Giants. 10 bench players to go along with 10 relievers in their bullpen. Bowker has spent most of the year this year in AAA Fresno. Just a handful of games in the big leagues. But he was a .342 hitter in Fresno this year in 104 games. Mike Cameron is under it. One gone in the 7th. Crowd with an emphatic cheer for Cameron. It was Cameron's error that led to a run last inning. A rare error by Cameron. You don't see him do that very often.
Not sure he deserved that. I mean, he's been a pretty good center fielder. But a big mistake.
Top of the order for the Giants. Eugenio Velez, 0 for 3. The fidgety Giants left fielder. With a very unusual batting style as well.
Yes, he does. Wide open stance. He's got that front leg straight out, leaning back.
I think the batting stance guy could have a field day with this lineup.
You betcha. Now watch the way he starts, but you know, when Todd Coffey's getting ready to let go of the baseball, watch the position he's in. That's about as normal as it gets.
Oh, now Escobar boots one. Another error for the Brewers, the 3rd of the game for Milwaukee.
And good speed at first base. Velez has very good speed. That's not a guy you want to allow to get on base. Hits it hard, a couple of hops to Escobar, and it rolled right up his glove. And error number 3 committed by the Brewers. They're going to win many games committing 3 errors.
Suppan, Cameron, and Escobar with the errors tonight. Edgar Renteria walked and scored in the 6th. Renteria's first year in San Francisco after a season in Detroit last year. Had a rough go of it in the American League. Has made the final out, or been the batter for the final moment of 2 World Series. As a Marlin and a Cardinal. Velez has only been caught once. He's 5 for 6 in stolen base opportunities.
Coffey's getting rid of the baseball pretty quick, making it tough on Velez.
He takes off. Renteria hits one high in the air to left center. Mike Cameron will settle under it. Out number 2.
Had a pretty good jump that time. Very unusual style of holding a runner for Todd Coffey. Actually looks over his right shoulder. Most pitchers look over the left shoulder.
I don't know if I've ever seen a pitcher look over his back shoulder. Something about right-eye dominant, probably.
Yeah.
I asked Coffey about that earlier this year. He goes, I don't know. Never done it any differently.
That's the way I do it. Best answer you can get.
Sets up a good matchup between Coffey and Sandoval. Sandoval second in the league in batting to start the day. .329 hitter with 21 home runs. Homered 3 times in a series here in Milwaukee in June.
This guy's already got 470 at bats.
Only 38 walks.
That's a lot of at bats. Man.
It's impressive to keep that kind of batting average up without walking that much.
You betcha.
'22-year-old Venezuelan had a huge year last year in the minor leagues. Hit a combined .350. He swung the bat so well at all levels of the Giants minor league system, from A ball to AA to AAA. They had no choice but to bring him up to see what he could do. And sure enough, Sandoval came to the big leagues and proved he belonged quickly as a 21-year-old. Last year, Sandoval in 41 games hit .345 for the Giants.
.154 for 470. Looks like there might be only one hitter in the National League with 200 hits. Hanley Ramirez with 171 coming in. Ryan Braun, number 2 on the list with 161 coming into play tonight. Ichiro has 189 hits.
Wow.
He's usually at 200 by now, isn't he?
He's on his way to another 200 hit season. He's an amazing player.
Hanley Ramirez with 171. You think he's going to get 29 the rest of the way?
I think so. I think he's in good shape if he
Pretty
stays
close.
healthy.
Yeah, I mean,
Dan Uggla wants to make sure he stays on the field. Pretty critical of Hanley Ramirez. Sandoval out in front of another one, and he skies one to Cameron. Todd Coffey has a scoreless 7th inning, pitching around an Escobar error.
Don't make the routine play. It's a tough play for Mike Cameron to make, but it's a play he should have caught. That routine play, routine errors actually lead to more rallies than anything in baseball.
Well, Davey and I will have the action, the reaction, and our on-field instructional. Brewers Live, sponsored by Lincoln Mercury after the game. But let's see what the Brewers can do in the bottom of the seventh. Back to Brian and Bill. BA?
All right, Jeff, thanks. Good to have Jeff Grayson here in Milwaukee here tonight again. Post game coming up just as soon as we're done here, which the way this game is going might be a while. 2-2 tied up as we head to the bottom of the seventh, and Brandon Metters is on to pitch. 51st appearance of the year. Another sparkling ERA out of that Giants bullpen. Ryan Braun leads off, then Fielder, and then Casey McGee. Braun is 0 for 1. He walked twice and struck out. He did walk, steal a base, and score a run in the first inning at the plate, presented by Wendy's. The Brewers in the first inning stole 3 bases against Benji Molina and Barry Zito as Braun pops it up.
And Bronny just missed that one. A two-seam fastball, basically a two-seam and a curveball from Metters. And Ryan had one to hit, just popped it up.
Here's Prince. Drove in a run in the first. Brewers have been held scoreless since that 2-run first inning, but they have had their chances. Left 2 on in the fourth, stranded the bases loaded in the fifth, and left a pair last inning. 9 left so far for the Brewers through the first 6 innings.
Pretty good chance he's going to get the green light here on a fastball.
Walked him 4 straight. Fielder's second walk gives him 91 for the year.
10 for the night for the Brewers. 1 away from the season high.
Big question is, will Fielder get to the franchise record in walks or home run, or excuse me, RBIs first?
I hope RBIs.
Well,
and I hope he gets them all tonight.
He's 9 walks away from the franchise record, and he's 6 RBIs away from the record. Got a 6 RBI future in him tonight, you're thinking.
I'm hoping.
One will do at this point.
It's hard to believe the pace of this game. There's only been 6 hits.
2 by the Giants, 4 by the Brewers. And a 2-2 game. Brandon Metters is the 5th pitcher used by Bochy. McGee off the end of the bat. 2 outs. McGee had the bad break of the night in the 5th. Had the bases loaded and 1 out, and he hit a rocket to second.
A curveball that was up in the zone and a little bit off the end of the bat, but once again right at the third baseman. Come on, Casey, they've been there 100 years.
He should have known they were going to put a guy there.
Right at second, right at third base. Come on.
Well, Mike Cameron would love nothing more than to erase an error that he committed back in the 6th inning. It's a great thing about baseball. You always get a chance at redemption.
Yeah, you don't have much time to really worry about mistakes and rest on your laurels if you hit a home run. I mean, the game's always coming at you. Once you think you have it figured out, it's going to give you a nice swift kick. And sometimes when you think things can't get any worse, that's when things start turning around for you. It's all about the mental approach.
Had a good cut. 2-1. All tied at 2 in the bottom of the 7th. Brandon Metters in his first inning of work has 2 outs. Brewers have drawn 10 walks in this game. It's a season high for the Giants. The Brewers' season high for walks offensively as a team is 11. Cameron into right. That's playable for Shearholtz. And the side retired. Still tied at 2. We head to the 8th. And the Brewers, Alcides Escobar. Sparkling defense yesterday, robbing Mark DeRosa of a base hit. And then he does the same today. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Boy, that was something special from Escobar. That was back in the 4th inning to lead off, robbing Benji Molina of a base hit. No doubt about his glove work.
Yeah, and Benji Molina not even in the shot when the ball got to first base. Alcides got to learn that he can take the time once in a while. Hard to believe it, but this is a pitcher's duel here at the ballpark.
Yes, it is. Well, there have been a lot of base runners.
A lot of walks, some errors.
The Brewers have walked 10 times in this game. And the Giants have walked 4 times. So Benji Molina, cleanup hitter for the Giants. That one is deep to center field. Mike Cameron will watch it fly out of here. Benji Molina puts the Giants on top on the first pitch from Coffey. It's 3-2 San Francisco.
Well, we've been watching Benji Molina do that all year. In 3 series, he loves to attack early in the count. If he sees a fastball early, he's going to give it a pretty good swing and knock that one out of here. Back in center field by plenty. Hit that ball well.
His 17th home run of the year. And San Francisco has their first lead of the game.
There it is, fastball right down the middle. It looked like Todd Coffey realized that ball was hit well. Probably knew it was out of the ballpark. And way back off the batter's eye in center.
That's a big home run for the Giants. 3 unanswered runs for San Francisco. That's the first earned run allowed in this game. And a 3-2 San Francisco lead. Uribe off the end of the bat. Braun will settle under it. And the first out of the inning. You wonder if Coffey's getting a little fatigued this year, starting to give up some home runs, something he normally does not do. The 3-run homer allowed to Matt Holliday in St. Louis.
That was the first pitch as well.
Nate Schierholtz off the end of the bat. Escobar, tough play. And dug out by Fielder. Good play on both ends for out number 2.
Escobar able to surround that baseball. A lot of guys would have backhanded that ball, but you surround it, you play it in front of it. It gives you a better angle, better momentum toward first base. But able to get it there on a short hop, and Prince able to pick it for the out. Good play.
2 gone for Aaron Rowan. The Brewers will have Kendall, Escobar, then a pinch hitter due up in the bottom of this inning.
That's probably one of the toughest players for an infielder, particularly a shortstop, whether to backhand it, because if you backhand it, you have to stop essentially, or slow down to stop your momentum from going toward the line, or surround it like Escobar did. If you surround it like that, you're not going to be able to get as much on the throw. You'll probably be able to get to it quicker. Your momentum going toward first base, but you're not able to get as much on the throw because you're off balance.
Casey McGee, a nice easy hop. And the inning is over, but the Giants break the tie on a Benji Molina home run. It's 3-2 San Fran.
Seems like days ago. Pitched pretty well, 5 2/3 innings, 2 hits and 2 runs. An error by Mike Cameron hampered his effort tonight. Barry Zito gave up 2 runs in the first inning. Recovered, lasted 4, 5 walks and 5 strikeouts. Not a great outing for Zito the way he's been going. The game changer so far, Benji Molina's go-ahead home run in the 8th inning off Todd Coffey on the first pitch. It's 3-2 Giants.
As we head to the bottom of the 8th, thank you, Drew. Jason Kendall leads off. Metters back out there for his second inning of work. Molina with home run number 17 of the year. And now the Brewers play from behind once again with Metters on the mound. Metters walked a batter in the 7th. He walked Fielder. The Brewers have left 10 men on base in this game. And Kendall strikes out Metters with that wicked breaking ball.
He's got a good curve. He's got good sink on his fastball. Big 12-6 curveball. That's pretty much all he needs. He's working on a cutter and a changeup. Doesn't throw too many of those.
Giants trying to keep pace with the Colorado Rockies in that wild card race. The Rockies a 1-game lead to start the day. Colorado leads 2-0 against the Arizona Diamondbacks tonight. It's in the second inning. Actually can update that. It's now in the 6th. 4-2. Hit the refresh button every now and then. 4-2 Arizona over the Rockies in the 6th inning. I thought they were in the second inning for a while there. Going to be a fun race to watch. The Rockies and the Giants, two of the most improved teams in baseball as far as records go. The Rockies, one of the worst teams in the league last year. Giants the same way. But both are in it this time around. Villanueva gets loose. He'll have the 9th. Unless the Brewers score a couple of runs, and you'd likely see Trevor Hoffman.
Yeah.
Now, who didn't need to see that? There's plenty of billboard space.
Didn't look real happy either, did he?
I never looked at his face. I was just reading all the script on his chest and his belly.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there.
Yes, there was.
Escobar down to Sandoval. Just got him. 2 outs. Uh-oh.
Is that mom and dad next to him?
Gotta be.
Nope.
Two outs, and here is Craig Counsell pinch hitting. Three to 2 Giants, bottom of the 8th. And Counsell trying to get something started with 2 away. Jeremy Affeldt is up. Brian Wilson is the Giants' closer. And a base hit. Boy, Counsell continues his amazing season. 39 years of age, he continues to get his hits. And a big hit here in the 8th. Turns the lineup over to the top.
Hardly any movement on the top half. That bat just goes right to the baseball. Not a lot of movement like there used to be with that stance that he held that bat high. And he's been very quick to the baseball all year.
So here comes Bruce Bochy to the mound. Metters an inning and 2/3, and Bochy will take the ball from him. He'd rather have Lopez bat right-handed, so he brings the lefty Affeldt on to pitch.
the fact that they're bringing in a lefty here, you know how managers are always thinking a couple of hitters ahead. Bruce Bochy told us before the game that he doesn't really worry about bringing in a lefty to face Prince Fielder. Prince is so good against lefties, he wants to get his best matchup out there, but it doesn't have to be lefty or righty. It'll be interesting to see if Affeld's permitted to face Ryan Braun and what they'll do if the lineup turns around to Prince Fielder this inning.
Well, there's really no shortage of left-handers. Even with Affeld and Runzler being used, there's still another guy out there, Alex Hinshaw, another left-handed pitcher. So that's Bruce Bochy. You know, he's one of those old school guys. He's figuring if he's got his best out there, it doesn't matter if the batter's lefty or righty. If he's confident enough to get him out, he's going to leave him in.
Affeld has been one of Bochy's best. Affeld has retired 14 of his last 18 batters faced, left-handed or right-handed. So Lopez flips around and bats right-handed against Affeld. Lopez on base 4 times tonight. Has a hit, 2 walks, and he reached on an error. Homered earlier this year as a Brewer from the right side. Has 8 for the season. It's a lot of room down that left field line. If Lopez could pull one, you see his numbers just about the same, left-handed or right-handed. This is Lopez's natural side. Oh, that felt a good fastball.
Threw it right by him, 95 miles an hour. There's not too many left-handers coming out of bullpens that throw that hard. Maybe that's why the left fielder is swung around toward the gap.
Earlier this year, Affeld posted 28 scoreless innings, the longest in 40 years in the history of the Giants. Two and two. Two balls, 2 strikes. Counsell at first. The Brewers down a run. And Lopez chops one over to Sandoval. Going to be a tough play. The throw is in time. Sandoval makes a nice play at third to get his man. And the Giants get through the 8th scoreless. Still 3-2 San Francisco on our way to the 9th at Miller Park. Miller Park, Milwaukee. First of a 3-game series with the Giants. 16 home games remain, including this one here tonight. In the regular season, the Brewers kind of handing one over to the Giants thus far. They committed a couple of errors, key errors in that 6th inning that allowed the Giants to score twice. It was 2-0 Brewers until the 6th. San Francisco tied it and then took the lead on a Benji Molina home run in the 8th. And now Carlos Villanueva is on to face the Giants in the night. Travis Ishikawa leads off, and Villanueva starts him with a strike. Ishikawa singled off Jeff Suppan in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 3 tonight. How about the Giants with 3 runs on only 3 hits, but 3 Brewers errors?
Well, coming in, you knew that the Giants were not a team that were going to, beat you with just, outslugging you. I mean, they're going to pitch well, which they've done. Zito gave up those 2 runs in the 1st inning, and that's been it. I mean, the bullpen has been solid for the Giants. 5 relievers have kept the Brewers off the board.
Villanueva strikes out Ishikawa, out number 1 of this 9th inning. The Brewers have had a base runner in every single inning tonight offensively. So even though they scored twice in the 1st, they've had plenty of chances throughout this game. 11 runners left on tonight for the Crew. And really the big blow was the 5th inning. The Brewers had the bases loaded in a 2-0 lead. Actually had 2 on with nobody out, and Braun and Fielder coming up, and they came up empty in that inning. Casey McGee hit a line drive that was caught. So a bit of a bad break for the Brewers in that frame. But while they've kept the pressure on, they've been unable to reach the pay station since the 1st. Randy Wynn's going to pinch hit for the Giants. Earlier this year, Wynn was batting in the 3-hole for San Francisco. Tonight, Bruce Bochy gives the start to Shearholtz.
And it's worked out, right? He's the guy that hit the line drive to Cameron. Cameron dropped it. Cost the Brewers 2 runs.
Wynn's a switch hitter, but much better from the left side. He's a .300 hitter in the big leagues last year.
This is a guy you got to keep off the bases. Leads the team in stolen bases.
Villanueva pops him up. Escobar wants it. 2 outs. Arizona still leading the Rockies 4-2. They go to the 7th inning in Colorado. So a Rockies loss and a Giants win, and it's a dead heat for the National League wild card. With 28 to play. The Marlins and the Braves are also in the wild card picture. Atlanta losing to the Reds tonight. Cincinnati with a 3-1 victory in Atlanta. Bronson Arroyo picked up the win. Cordero saved it for Arroyo. And the Marlins won 9-6. The Braves and the Marlins both 4 back to start the day in the wild card race. Rockies 1 game up on the Giants, and then Atlanta and Florida. The Cubs 6 back. Chicago.
Cubs lost.
Yeah, lost to the Mets 6-2.
Cardinals won.
You see how the Mets won that game?
Yeah.
A 5-run bottom of the 8th for New York. A 6-2 win. Reports out of Chicago are that Alfonso Soriano's going to be shut down, and it could be for the rest of the year, according to Lou Piniella.
That's a white flag. 11.5 back.
And 6 back in the wild card.
That'd be nice for the Brewers to be able to catch the Cubs.
It's a knee injury That is hampering Soriano. Braves got Nate McLeod back. They're going to get him activated from the disabled list for the stretch run here. He was in the starting lineup tonight. Hamstring injury had McLeod on the shelf. Freddie Sanchez, another former Pirate in a pennant race, is with the Giants, and he's on his way back. Supposed to be back when the Giants return home after this series with the Brewers. He's been out with an elbow injury.
A couple of good changeups by Villanueva. Velez looking back at Jason Kendall saying, "You kidding me? 3-1 changeup to me?"
Three and two. See what he gives him. Another one. And that is a foul ball. It's always a good water cooler question. Who makes the call fair or foul before it gets to the base? What umpire?
Are you asking me?
No, of course not.
Oh, okay.
Kidding me? You're Mr. Rulebook. It's the home plate umpire. But that's, you might win a cup of coffee or something.
Unless the umpire can't see it, maybe runner's in the way. They'll ask for help.
Velez rips one into the gap. That one hops the wall, and the speedy Velez thinking about third, and he's on his way. Escobar's throw to third base, not in time. A triple for Velez. Close play at third. Risky business for Velez with 2 outs, but he's in there. And the inning continues.
And a little too close for comfort. You never, ever want to make the third out at third base. Stay at second with 2 outs. You're in scoring position. Got banged up. Another changeup. Weighted back nicely. Ripped it into the gap. Mike Cameron gets it in, and a good throw by Escobar into short outfield. Kicks it into overdrive between first and second, and able to make it.
Man, close play. Here's Renteria now. Boy, the Brewers cannot afford to give up another run here. Velez wincing a little bit, looks a little banged up. To McGee. And the side retired. So a scoreless inning for Villanueva. And here we go to the bottom of the ninth. And the Brewers muster up some Miller Park magic. You've got Braun and Fielder due to hit in the home half. Don't go anywhere. 3-2, the Giants lead the Brewers. We head to the bottom of the ninth. Last call for Milwaukee. And the flame-throwing Giants closer, Brian Wilson, is on the mound. Jody Garrett leads off, then Braun, then Fielder. Giants took the lead on a Benji Molina home run in the 8th. And a broken bat, roller out to Ishikawa for out number 1. And here comes Ryan Braun. And before the game, Drew Olson had a chance to visit with Bruce Bochy and asked his comments on the 1-2 combo for the Brewers.
They're both very, very good hitters, and you know, I'll put those two really with any 3-4 hitters in the game. That's how good they are, and very dangerous. And like I said, this is a good ball club. I mean, they got in it last year, and I know hasn't quite gone quite as well as they would like, but it's a very, very good team here.
Giant skipper talking about Braun and Fielder. And here is Braun. And a line shot, base hit. The Brewers have a man on, and the big man is coming up with a chance to win it with one swing of the bat. Braun with his first hit, his 3rd time on base. And that sets it up for Fielder, who already has a walk-off hit against the Giants. Take you back to June right here at Miller Park. Prince with an extra base hit down the line that scored Corey Hart. June 27th, and a walk-off win against San Francisco on Cerveceros Day. On their feet at Miller Park, Wilson against Fielder.
Well, if you're Prince Fielder, you have to try and have Wilson get that fastball down in the zone. That's what Braun was able to do. He gets that fastball, 99, 100 miles an hour up around the belt. You don't have much of a shot. They can get it down in the zone.
Wilson with 32 saves. You see his outing on the 27th of June, one of his worst of the year, 2/3 of an inning, and allowed 3 earned runs that day. Fielder can win it with one swing of the bat, and the 2-0 strike. Big fastball, 99 miles an hour from Brian Wilson. Three balls and a strike. 153 is our Powerball number tonight. That is the number of home runs the Brewers have hit this year as a team. Fielder has 36 of those. Tying run at first. Wilson has blown 6 saves this year, but has 32. Prince bounces one over to third. Sandoval fires to second for 1. And that's all they'll get. Braun put out at second. Second out of the inning. And it's going to be up to Casey McGee with 2 away.
Just power against power right there. Wilson down in the count 3-1. Said, here it is, hit it. It was away. And Prince couldn't get the bat head out. And a force out at second base. Prince running hard just to make sure he doesn't get doubled up. Keep the inning alive. Blowing bubbles as he makes that play.
Calm and cool is Sandoval. He's made a couple of nice plays at third. Brewers down to their last out. Casey McGee, the batter. Tying run at first. 2 outs, 3-2 Giants lead. And McGee pops it up. This will stay playable. Ishikawa makes a call and the catch, and the ball game is over. And the Giants come back to win it here tonight. They scored 3 unanswered, 3 costly Brewers errors. Benji Molina with the big home run that put the Giants on top, and a lead they would hang on to. Jeff Grayson starting Brewers Live right now.